Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about building cross-platform mixed reality experiences. My name is Kevin Semple and I'm a program manager on the Microsoft Mixed Reality team. I spend my time working with the Mixed Reality Toolkit, understanding how people are using it to build experiences and figure out what we need to do to make their experiences even better. I'm joined today with some members of the Mixed Reality Toolkit team.
Hi, I'm Finn Sinclair. I joined the MRTK team about a year ago now, and I've been spending my time working on our hand tracking and hand interactions, as well as our 3D user interface work. Happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Curtis Evely. I'm an engineer on the team as well, and I've been working on the toolkit for quite a few years at this point. And over the last few years, I've sort of expanded my focus across our whole developer platform, whether it's OpenXR or our integration into Unity, and of course the toolkit.
And rounding it out, I'm Roger Liu, another software engineer on the Mixed Reality Toolkit team. I've been here around 2 years at this point, and one of the things I've been working on is our Oculus Quest support for our previous version and going into our newest version as well.
You're probably wondering, what is the Mixed Reality Toolkit and who is it for? These are great questions. Mixed Reality Toolkit, or MRTK, is an open source, Microsoft-driven project that puts spatial building blocks and UI in the hands of developers to accelerate the development of mixed reality experiences. We like to focus on the underlying building blocks that make apps functional, so developers can focus on making their apps unique. It doesn't matter if you're an independent developer, whether you're an enterprise developer, or whether you're making something in your garage. This toolkit is for you. Today, version 2 is out, and it's available to the public, but we're going to be focusing on version 3, which we're really excited to talk about, as it will be coming out very, very soon. When it comes to device support, the Mixed Reality Toolkit has got you covered. From HoloLens 2 to Windows Mixed Reality headsets to the Oculus Quest and even mobile devices. You can run the toolkit on all of these. Now, Finn, you want to talk to us about what it's like to touch a hologram?
Yeah, so if you've been keeping tabs on the industry recently, a lot of devices are moving towards a more hand-centric approach. So, with Quest, obviously, they're bringing their own hand tracking solution. HoloLens 2 has been offering great hand tracking solution for a long time. Across the industry, people are looking for really good ways to basically touch the 3D world, because people are building these great experiences that need user interfaces. They need, high fidelity, finger interaction, grabbing, poking, squeezing, pulling. Our goal in MRTK is basically to make the best building blocks possible so that your apps can use these awesome detailed hand interactions. And so that covers everything from, moving objects around to manipulating them, resizing them, but other more detailed things, like you have a user interface in 3D, and how does that even work? Like, you have a button that actually moves, and things pop and squish and stretch. And we also have other interesting new interactions, like gaze targeting, where you look at an object, and then you can also, with your other hand, you can manipulate it, but you target it with your gaze. And there's all kinds of interesting new innovations we're doing there. And the idea, like Kevin said, is that we can basically give developers all these easy building blocks, and then you guys can make the apps awesome because you have all of these hard parts done for you already. You can see here, one of the really exciting new things in V3 that we're working on is the idea that everything is kind of variable, analog, and kind of squishy. So we have this idea where things aren't just selected or deselected. Things can kind of be a variable selectedness amount, which is really cool because you can do interesting things like drive UI interactions off of pinch and squeeze in the same way that you can also press with your finger or pull an analog trigger. You can see here that we have really interesting new controls that show off these new interactions.
This sounds super cool. I'm interested to know, what are people building with the Mixed Reality Toolkit?
Yeah, so we have a lot of teams, both internally, externally, and in the community, that build really cool things with MRTK. They range from all kinds of industries and products. We have, people building construction equipment to industrial monitoring software to healthcare to, social entertainment stuff and education. It's basically anything, really. And the idea is that MRTK can provide these building blocks that are applicable to everybody, and so everybody can benefit. And you can see here, this is D365 guides, which is really cool because it allows people to be shown these like assistive holograms in their job to help accelerate training and help improve the accuracy of like maintenance and industrial jobs, which is really cool. And people can call in on Teams and provide video assistance and actually annotate the world around the user, which is really cool. In terms of V3, obviously it's not available publicly yet, but as we go to public availability, you should be assured that we've been really battle testing it with internal teams. So before it ever gets out to the public, it's going to be going through the ringer of a whole bunch of different teams in Microsoft building really cool things with it, and they've been giving some really good feedback to us. So we've been changing it, improving it, and especially making sure that the developer experience is as easy and polished as possible.
I can see the excitement just radiating off of you as you talk about it. Curtis, do you want to tell us what you're most excited about in this new version of the toolkit?
Yeah. Really what I'm most excited about right now, I kind of take a step back, I guess, is this feels like a really good convergence point just, for us and really for the industry. Taking a step back, the Holo toolkit, the original version of the toolkit, was really just a collection of scripts in Unity that were sort of, just drag and drop, and they could help you do, the really basic building blocks. We took a step into Mixed Reality Toolkit for V2, added a bit of a framework around that, both to ease cross-platform extensibility and to just kind of, help you a little bit more to build that structure around your app. So again, you can focus on what makes your experience, unique and compelling. With V3, we're able to work with some of our partners at Unity, where we're building on their XR interaction toolkit, and the work that they've been doing on their new input system for sort of arbitrary device input mapping, and our friends across the industry with OpenXR is a massive step forward for us, where we as sort of the toolkit can start paying, letting these other sort of players in the industry focus on what makes cross-platform good that they're good at, and then we can sort of take that step above and start helping your experience even more. Helping us not reinvent the wheel again, but just focus on that application experience and building on the work of our friends around to just make things as good as possible.
And with that OpenXR, it means that people can bring a device that we may not have even tested that is OpenXR compliant, and they'll be able to use it with the toolkit down the line.
Exactly. Yeah. One of our big goals with this is sort of future looking, and even for the things in the future that we haven't even thought up yet. Yeah, we're looking for compatibility across arbitrary devices. Whatever you want to bring to the table, our goal is to help you support that.
Whatever you want to bring to the table. That sounds amazing. Curtis, what does it take to make good developer tools?
That's a very big question, but I'm happy to take it from a couple pieces of our perspective. This has kind of been something we've tried to keep in mind since version 1 of the Holo toolkit is designing for as broad a range of people as possible, right? Whether you're a developer or a designer or a technologist or anybody in between, we want to try to make the toolkit as easy to use to get started and as advanced and configurable as you might need to tweak each little value to make it as customized for your experience as possible. So we've definitely tried to put a focus on both inspector configurability and code configurability. So if you don't want to write a whole bunch of code to try to get things to work, we try to make it as easy as possible for you to just kind of drag and drop and check some buttons, click some buttons, check some boxes in the inspector, and get to still a good working experience.
So whether I love to code or whether I don't love to code, this toolkit is for me.
For sure, yeah, that's definitely what we're aiming for. Is whether you just want to use it for sort of prototyping and just quickly dragging and dropping things into your scene, or you really want to take it start to finish and build a working sort of working product. We're aiming for the whole spectrum. Yeah.
You support up to enterprise level things at this point, right? Because our own teams are vetting it, and you can be assured that it'll be battle tested for whatever scale you might need.
For sure, yeah. A lot of our feedback has been coming around. Yeah, just looking for a couple more pieces to be configurable, or just a little bit of ease of use for various pieces, and all of this is sort of culminating into what V3 will become.
Yeah.
So.
Taking it out of the garage into the wide world.
Yes, for sure.
Enterprise scale, certainly a focus for us on the Mixed Reality Toolkit. Can you talk about the role of accessibility in developer tools? Because I imagine that must be very important for enterprise scale.
Oh yeah, of course. So, technologically we've started, computation is, started traditionally on computers, and nowadays a lot more people are going onto mobile devices. And one of the reasons that this has happened is because, it's a lot more accessible, a lot more easier for consumers to use, and this extends further as we go into the mixed reality space. So accessibility is going to be one of the forefront sort of ideals that we are designing for when creating new ways for developers to work with MRTK. And basically, we are trying to make it as easy as possible for other developers to make their apps accessible as possible. So, regardless of whatever ability you might have, you'll be able to enjoy mixed reality and hopefully be more productive with mixed reality tools than you might be on other platforms. So it's definitely one of the foremost things that we are considering and focusing on going into the future.
And it sounds to me like if we can make the Mixed Reality Toolkit very easy for developers to introduce accessibility features into, it'll make them more likely to make their apps accessible as well.
Yeah, we can say that we're making mixed reality development more accessible, as well as making mixed reality more accessible as well.
That sounds wonderful. Now, let's say I'm a new developer interested in mixed reality. How do I find other mixed reality developers?
Oh, I'm very glad that you're interested in mixed reality. And we have a great online community. So already for our version 2, we have a great GitHub repository. You can see there have been thousands of issues and pull requests made to the repository. So, lots of activity there, lots of history you can go through to figure out, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what pitfalls have people found while developing for mixed reality. So our GitHub is always a great resource. Beyond that, we have a Hollow Developer Slack. It's a Slack channel where you can converse with lots of other mixed reality developers, as well as us. And, the community has been extremely important for MRTK. Some of our biggest contributions, such as Quest support, have come from the community. And I do hope that the community continues to flourish and thrive for V3.
It sounds like being an open source project has been a great benefit.
Of course, yeah, lots of great stuff from it being open source. You've gotten a lot more feedback and a lot more involvement than we might have if we had stayed closed source otherwise.
That's great. Now, if you're wondering how to get started with the Mixed Reality Toolkit, you've come to the right place. You can check out aka.ms/MRTK. That's aka.ms/MRTK. And that'll take you directly to our documentation page, where we've got everything from links to the resources that Roger mentioned, to a link to the learning path so you can get started on making your first mixed reality project. And we've got all of the API reference docs linked, as well as conceptual documentation, so you can learn all about how to build your first app, what the affordances you should be considering are, and anything else that you might be thinking about. Now, if you want to stay up to date, you should certainly join our developer program. You can link to that at aka.ms/mrnews, and that is the best way to stay on top of all the things happening in the mixed reality space here at Microsoft, and you can be a part of it. Now, I hope you learned something new. The Mixed Reality Toolkit is an exciting space to build all types of apps. It doesn't matter what kind of developer you are, it is certainly for you. And with V3, we are really focusing on accessibility, enterprise scale, and making sure that you have the tools you need to build what you want. Thank you.